Thank you very much, Rabbi Yoram Ullman, my dear brother-in-law. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to thank the Sydney Jewish community for your achdus, for being there with us, for your solidarity in holding our hands, trying to recover from this terrible event. 1 week ago today, after 33 years of running our Chabad house here in Poway, California, our beautiful sanctuary was defiled with the worst amount of defilement possible. Instead of being a house of prayer, of hope, of Torah and Chesed, death and murder has breached our walls and took down one of our pillars of our community, Mrs. Lori Kay, Aleh Shalom. I've just recently came back from Washington and realizing that this past week, Erev Shabbos, the thousands and thousands of more people that are going to light candles because of her memory is going to create an avuka, a torch of light that will scorch away any darkness that's out there. The loss is so raw and so fresh. The family is getting up from Shiva Sunday morning. The widow, their only daughter, has suffered such a loss. Lori Kay was an Eishes Chayil. She cared for so many. She was from the best of the best. Every community would love to have a Lori in their community. Someone that you know you can count on. By every life cycle event, she will be there. And she came to Shul just to honor her mother with Yizkar, who recently passed away. Achron Shapesach, the last day of Pesach, the day that we've been building up to from the first bite into the matzah, going through the Seders, going through Pesach, thinking about our past sufferings. B'chol der eimdim aleinu l'chali seinu. Comes Achron Shapesach. We're not thinking about what happened in the past, but we're having a vision for the future. We take out the 2 Sifrei Torah, and we're looking forward to read the once-a-year Haftorah, Oid Hayom B'Noiv, where Yeshaya Navi prophesizes how the world will change, the wolf and the lamb will live together. The animals would act with kindness. There will be no more war. There will be no more bloodshed, because Mashiach would have come. And in the Haftarah, we say the words, Hine kel Yeshuasi eftach v'lei efchad, ki ozi v'zin masya. This is the Achron Shapesach Haftarah. As I grew up in Crown Heights with the Lubavitcher Rebbe, when the Lubavitcher Rebbe was a little kid, he already set in his mind what his life's goal was going to be. And he wrote it in a letter. And when he was a little child, he already envisioned what will the world be like with Mashiach. And that was the Rebbe's whole leadership, was to help bring the whole world to Yemei Mashiach. And growing up with the Rebbe, I got to learn the passion and the recognition, the realization that when we daven and we say the words, as Tzemach David Avdecha Meheras Atzmiach, we should mean it. That we want Mashiach to come speedily, because the Rebbe taught us that. So I waited every year for the Pesach Haftarah, when the Rebbe would read about his dream about Mashiach. The Rebbe would read it with such emotion, and the Rebbe would tremble when he would read various psukim. And you would feel how the Rebbe was crying, sobbing, tears of why hasn't Mashiach come yet, and yet with tears of hope. So I was going to be reading it this year. When I left the shul, my son-in-law, who just got married 2 weeks before, was Bal Koreh. My other son was on the bima as the gabbai. I go outside out of the sanctuary to the lobby, and I see Mrs. Lori Kay dressed up beautifully for Yontiv, with her beautiful smile, radiant face, saying, Chag Sameach, Rabbi. I was able to get all the children out, hand my granddaughter over to my son, who has already fled the shul. And there again, you have two choices to make. Do you go for shelter, or do you go back and check on your community? Instinctively, I went back to the shul, went back to the banquet hall. By that time, my finger was dangling, hanging on skin, bleeding terribly. My other hand was bleeding terribly. I grabbed the talus just to wrap it around us to slow the bleeding down. At that point, I did not know that the shooter has already left. It was the worst fear ever, because I come and it's quiet. There's no more shooting. I'm dreading, what am I walking into? Did the shooter already murder Chas v'Shalom everybody? Am I walking into a bloodbath of 75 to 100 people all slaughtered in our Beis HaKnesses? What am I walking into? I walk into the lobby and I see a woman laying on the floor, and people are doing CPR on her. And I said, where's law enforcement? Where are the policemen? Where are they? People are on the phones, they can't get through. So I figure cell phones, you can't get through. I got my key, I opened up the reception's room, secretary's room. I took the phone, I dialed 911, and even a landline couldn't get through. 4 times I'm trying 911, circuits are busy. Very frustrating. I finally get through. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. There's a woman lying on the floor. There's an active shooter. Where's the law enforcement? Eventually, the law enforcement arrived. I hung up the phone. I found half my congregation cuddled in a corner by the building, on the side of the building. I saw the fear. It was like out of a page out of the Holocaust days. I went ahead. I stood up on a chair, and I announced, Am Yisrael Chai, to realize and recognize what you just witnessed on Achron Shel Pesach is not going to stop us from continuing in our Yiddishkeit. And the members have started to look up at me. They see me standing on the chair. They see me bleeding. And I said, Chevra, let's say together that Am Yisrael Chai, that this has been going on for 3,000 years, and it's not going to stop, and it's not going to stop now. By that time, the paramedics came, and they were assessing the injured, and they wanted to take me to the hospital. I would not go, because there were 2 girls that were missing, unaccounted for. And they went, and they found out that they were sheltering by a neighbor's house. Once everyone I knew was accounted for, we realized we lost Lori. She passed away. She passed away immediately. Kodesh Lashem, right in the shul. Her neshama went straight to Gan Eden. They took me in the ambulance to the hospital, where a member of our shul, who was just a little kid when I first met him, is now a doctor, came running to my bed, and they tracked down a Jewish hand surgeon, and they had two surgeons at the same time, one working on the right hand, one on the left hand. It was about a 4-hour surgery trying to save the left hand, because the right hand, there's nothing left, there's nothing to do about this finger. The left one, there was some hope. And after the 5-hour surgery, they told me that it looks like they're going to be able to save the left finger. It was at that moment that I realized what kind of miracle happened to me, and how many miracles happened throughout the whole shul. After the debriefing, finding out what happened, that after when the gunner, the shooter came in, he first shot Lori right away. That was the first shots that I heard. Then he saw me. I was his next target. That was the next set of shots. Then he turned towards the shul, and he got a couple rounds out there, and then his gun jammed. He came with 50 bullets ready to use. When his gun jammed, a veteran from the army, a 54-year-old Oscar Stewart, he was in the shul. This all happens within seconds. He hears the first shots. He sees everyone running. He's about to join them. And then his training kicks in. He turns around and runs towards the lobby. When that gun jammed, that was the miracle of miracles. He gave out such a yell that this 19-year-old piece of dirt got startled. And we still don't know who did it, but someone else threw a chair at him. Then he grabbed his gun and exited the building. We also had a Border Patrol agent who saw the commotion, grabbed the gun that was kept in the tallis bag, ran after the shooter, but the shooter was already in his car, and he got a few rounds off. But he couldn't get him, but they took down the license plate. Within 20 minutes, the shooter was captured by the police department. Life and death by a centimeter. Lori had no chance. If I would have been a centimeter one way or another way, it would have been my funeral. Somehow, Hashem did not want me to die that moment. I still hear the bullets flying by me. I still have the shock of the whole event, looking at a murderer face to face, having a rifle pointed right at you, having the bullets, 4 bullets flying all around you, and eventually only your hands get hurt. But I'm still alive. It was a moment that you realize that Hashem has your shlichus, your mission out there for you. And how every second of life is a bracha. And how every morning we need to say, Moida ani lefanecha. As soon as the news broke, I started to get calls from every TV network and radio show. And I wasn't sure what to do. What is my mission? What am I supposed to do with this experience? I asked myself one question. What would my Rebbe want me to do? My Rebbe, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, has taken us through some very difficult times. Throughout the wars in Israel, the riots in Crown Heights, the murders in Crown Heights, we have seen the anguish and pain on the Rebbe when another Yid gets hurt or killed, God forbid. But the Rebbe immediately would teach us, we need to take the light out of the dark, and we need to flip the whole situation around. And all of a sudden, I got this renewed feeling that the reason why Hashem spared my life was because a message needs to be told. The world needs to be shaken up, and the world needs to know that we need to bring Hashem, God, back to this world. My father otherwise known as Uncle Yossi, composed the song, Hashem is here, Hashem is there, Hashem is truly everywhere. Beautiful song that all children sing, all nurseries sing the song. And he would point with his finger, Hashem is here, Hashem is there, Hashem is truly everywhere. Up, up, down, down, right, left, and all around. The finger that my father used to sing that song with was taken away from me on Achron Shel Pesach. And it was given to you. It was given to every single person that's going to learn of the story, that they should start pointing to the four corners of the world and say, Hashem is there, Hashem is there. Hashem was in our shul protecting us. A sequence of miracles and miracles that occurred, because this is a Beis Chabad, this is a house of prayer, of charity, of learning, and that's where we're going to continue on thriving and growing. In spite of all the tzaras and the heartbreak, we're going to get stronger, just like in the days of Mitzrayim, that this strengthens us to finish the final mitzvahs to help bring Mashiach, speedily in our days. Amen.